the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Ben Dennison for Annalisa this evening. A disturbing story out of Northwest. Several very young children out on a walk with teachers. But what happened Monday has shocked many people.
Yeah, those folks around the district as someone attacked teachers in front of those kids, Ben.
That's right, Mark. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us live from the Bloomingdale neighborhood where the attack happened. Dave, tell us more.
Good afternoon, Ben and Mark. We're along S Street Northwest and 2nd Street where the attack happened late Monday afternoon. 38-year-old Russell Dunkley faces 7 counts, and I want to read some of the charges here, including simple assault and misdemeanor sexual abuse of a minor or child. Ringtone video captured the attack as it happened late Monday afternoon here in the Bloomingdale neighborhood. Children screamed as police said Dunkley repeatedly hit both teachers in the head after they refused to give him money and called the police. All of this happened in front of 20 to 30 preschoolers from Petite Scholars. Police said Dunkley also exposed himself and committed a lewd act in front of the children. Police arrested him a short time later, then took Dunkley to Howard University Hospital to be examined for what they called a mental health emergency. It was during this time police said Dunkley spat at an officer. Meanwhile, the owner of Petite Scholars told us earlier today the injured teachers are home recovering and the children still shook up over what happened.
It should not be an issue for teachers to walk the neighborhood with infants and toddlers in tow and not feel that it's a safe community for them.
The owner of Petite Scholars told us there will be no more walks for the children around the neighborhood while they discuss security issues. We are live in the Bloomingdale neighborhood. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Dave, before we let you go, what else do we know about the suspect in this disturbing incident?
Well, literally, we are learning more. In fact, we got some updated information just a few moments ago. Police told us Dunkley committed similar acts back on October 3rd. Those involved only adults. Police told us that they issued Dunkley a citation and released him. However, we were told just right before we went on the air, Dunkley appeared in court today on the newest charges and the earlier ones. But so far, there has been no update as to whether Dunkley remains in custody.
Dave Laval live tonight. Turning from Dave in the Bloomingdale neighborhood, you're looking at Roslyn, seen from our DC News Now rooftop camera. Beautiful day.
It is indeed. Let's get over to meteorologist Damon Madsen for the first look at our forecast. Damon, the sun is shining. When that happens, I think it's a win.
Oh, yeah, a win there with the sun, and then on top of that, we turned a chilly morning into a very beautiful, very warm afternoon. Look at some of our current temperatures. We're now hitting that peak heat of the day, if you will, and how about plenty of 70s. Ironically enough, DC, one of the cooler spots, if you will, but still in the upper 60s, not that bad at all. But here we have those lower 70s stretching across northern Virginia into parts of West Virginia, western Maryland there in those low 70s. And yesterday we did climb into the 60s at the very least, but we're about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than that here today, all because we've had sunny skies and a southerly wind brought on by high pressure that has moved on to the east of the area. That's enough to kick up those southerly winds, but it is still close by to where there is a clear sky and quiet weather conditions for us here as we move on into this Tuesday evening. So we'll turn a warm and sunny afternoon into a clear and slightly cooler evening for you here. Those temperatures drop out of the 70s and 60s quickly into the 50s by 8, 9 o'clock even. So you have to pull those jackets back out if you're going to be out and about enjoying this evening here. Now, as we move on into the rest of the week, should more of this sunshine and more of these warm temperatures be expected? Well, we'll have a full check of your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Damon, thank you. Developing now out of Montgomery County. Police are investigating a deadly triple shooting. DC News Now's Liberty Zabala has the latest details from Silver Spring.
A wild shooting involving 3 victims who suffered gunshot wounds. And right now, Montgomery County Police are trying to figure out if all of these 3 victims are connected and how they are connected, if at all. 3rd District officers and Montgomery County Fire Rescue responded to the scene here just before 11 last night. They say the shooting took place in the 14,300 block of Fairdale Road. When they got to the scene, they found one man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Then they found a second victim with gunshot wounds outside, and he was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A short time after that, they found a 3rd man suffering from gunshot wounds. They rushed him to the hospital. The extent of his injuries are unknown at this time. Neighbors say they are frustrated because this house has been a problem before.
It's very upsetting, but this is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. Especially, you know, it's across the street from the school. So, and we're right down. And I'm not even going to get into the fact that anyone looking to buy homes in this neighborhood, you know, they're going to look this up and want to think twice.
Montgomery County Police say right now they do have 1 individual in custody. For now, in Silver Spring, Liberty Zabala, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Liberty. And in Hagerstown, a funeral is planned Friday for Judge Andrew Wilkinson, who was shot to death in his driveway last week. His visitation is Thursday from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Douglas E. Fiery Funeral Home. The funeral service is 10 a.m. Friday at St. Anne Catholic Church in Hagerstown. Judge Wilkinson will be buried in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. And a nationwide manhunt is on for the man police say killed Judge Wilkinson, Pedro Argate. The shooting happened just hours after Judge Wilkinson denied Argate custody of his children. Argate's vehicle was found in a heavily wooded area just south of Williamsport, Maryland, along the C&O Canal. Investigators tell us that they do not think he is in the Williamsport area.
And we learned that Argate was under a temporary protective order in 2018. It required him to surrender his firearms. But 10 days later, his wife moved out of the house and the court lifted that order. These circumstances are drawing the attention of a Hagerstown lawmaker.
To the question about the temporary restraining order and possession of a weapon, it's an opportunity for us as legislators to look at if there are things that we need to do to tighten up the laws to ensure that we're keeping, our judges and our legal community, but also the families of those potential individuals safe.
We'll keep you updated on air and online as the search for Argate continues.
And a Washington County school was evacuated this morning after a strong odor was reported there. Officials say that North Middle School in Hagerstown was experiencing a strong smell inside the building. Emergency services were called to investigate and found no issues. About an hour later, the smell was detected yet again, causing an evacuation. Students were eventually dismissed early. At this point of the day, crews have been investigating but haven't found anything concerning.
Vienna, Virginia is adopting some new code updates. The town council voted to approve the first zoning update since 1969. The updates provides opportunities for residents to enhance outdoor living space, and it also helps businesses explore more commercial opportunities. The changes take effect January 1st, 2024.
And some good news this Tuesday afternoon. A dog stolen from its owner at gunpoint in Northeast D.C. over the weekend is back home.
Yeah, certainly good news. And a few good Samaritans found the dog and brought him to a local police station. Our Randy Bass was there as Max and his owner spent some of their first moments back together this morning. Randy, how are they feeling this afternoon?
Yeah, both Max and his owner, Zelina Ahmed, are thrilled to be back together this afternoon. They've reunited here at the 6th District Police Station in Northeast just a few hours ago. And of course, Zelina was here to meet him as those good Samaritans brought him back. She had some of his favorite things waiting for him, his favorite toys, his ball, his blanket, and of course, a whole lot of love and hugs. As for those good Samaritans, they spotted him this morning walking along Anacostia Avenue near the Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens. That's more than 5 miles away from where Max was initially taken at gunpoint in Fort Totten Saturday night. Those guys, Donnie and Dave, had seen the news coverage and thought Max could be the missing stolen dog, And they were exactly right. They brought him here to the police station, and Zelina finally got the call she'd been waiting on.
And then I was just like, I couldn't even understand like the words that were happening because I cried myself to sleep last night. So I was just overjoyed. I just started calling my sister because she was on the phone with me when the detective called.
But it was friendly, so that's why I thought it was a dog in the news. So I just put him in the car and brought him up here. I just stopped one of the officers and told him I believe this was the dog that was missing, and it was.
Yeah, a very happy ending to a very stressful couple of days for both Zelina and her dog, Max. She tells me she's hoping to take Donnie and Dave out to dinner to celebrate and thank them for everything they did to bring her pup back home. Mark?
Well, Randy, that's certainly great news, but there's still some questions remain around the dog napping and the people who did it. How police given you any new information really about the suspects in this case?
Yeah, not a ton of new information at this point, Mark, but that investigation still very much ongoing, searching for two men who told Zelina, who Zelina says had their hoods up, and she said they had COVID masks on at the time of the attack. I also asked police last night if this case was being investigated in connection with any other recent armed dog nappings around the district. It's a headline we're seeing more and more often around DC. They tell me this right now, it's not being investigated in connection with any other similar incidents, though they are asking anybody with any information at all to get in touch with detectives. Live in Northeast, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, Randy, thank you. A good ending to a story that really had some concerns at the very beginning.
Could be scary indeed, and our pet owners, they'd love their furry friends, and I would call this a perfect reunion.
Absolutely, Ben, I'm with you on that one. I just didn't say it.